Have you ever noticed that getting up from your favorite chair feels a little harder than it used to? Or that walking upstairs now takes more effort, a deeper breath, and a longer pause at the top? What if I told you this isn't just getting older? What if there was something silently stealing your strength every single day? This condition has a name. It's called sarcopenia, and it's one of the most underdiagnosed yet devastating threats to independence for older adults. By the time you turn 80, half of your muscle mass may have already vanished, not from disease, not from injury, but from the slow and silent erosion of strength happening inside your body. And it doesn't just steal muscle, it steals balance, it steals confidence, it steals the ability to live on your own terms. Each year, over 300,000 seniors in the U.S. are hospitalized. After a fall, many never fully recover. Behind these numbers are lives interrupted routines, broken families, heartbroken. But here's where the story takes a turn. Because science, real hard science, is revealing something remarkable. Some people in their 70s and 80s are defying the odds. They aren't just surviving, they're thriving. They hike mountains, dance with their grandkids, play tennis on the weekends, and lift groceries like they're half their age. Some even outperform younger adults in strength tests. That's what we're going to uncover today. You see, researchers from institutions like the Mayo Clinic, Harvard Medical School, and the University of Texas have discovered 7 key habits, simple, powerful actions that can not only slow muscle loss, but reverse it. Yet here's the shocking part. 93% of seniors don't know these habits even exist. And worse, many are unknowingly doing the exact opposite, making muscle loss worse every single day. Doctors rarely mention these habits. And when they do, they often focus on medications or outdated advice. But these habits aren't based on trends or fads. They're backed by cellular biology, real-world results, and hundreds of clinical studies. If you've been feeling this too, not just weakness, but a quiet question rising inside you, is this it? Is this how my body fades? Then stay with us, because this isn't a video about decline. This is a call to rise gently, wisely, and strongly. Subscribe to Senior Fitwear. Growing older doesn't mean growing smaller. It means growing smarter, stronger, and still moving forward. And if you're ready to learn what super strong 80-year-olds do differently, let's begin. If there's one habit that separates the frail from the fierce after 60, it's this resistance training that builds over time. Now, before your mind jumps to heavy gym weights or intense boot camps, pause. We're not talking about punishment. We're talking about power, gentle power adapted to you. Researchers at Tufts University have called progressive resistance training the closest thing to an anti-aging drug ever discovered. And the beauty of it, you don't need to be young to start. In fact, older adults respond exceptionally well to resistance if it's done right. So what makes this different from the typical light exercise most seniors are told to do? The answer lies in how muscles grow. Muscles respond not just to movement, but to challenge. Not pain, but purposeful resistance that gradually increases. Superagers, the seniors who remain strong into their 80s and 90s, don't just walk or do water aerobics. They engage in targeted movements that build strength over time, using a method called progressive overload. This means lifting or pushing slightly more each week, doing just one more rep, challenging muscles without overstraining joints. And the results astounding. A study from McMaster University found that just 2 weeks of high-effort resistance training performed safely to near muscle fatigue led to greater muscle gains than 5 weeks of mild exercise. But intensity doesn't mean danger. It means working up to the point where you feel I can't do one more with good form, then stopping there. That's the sweet spot where your muscles send out powerful chemical signals, grow, get stronger, rebuild. And those signals can stay active for up to 72 hours after a single session. Superagers also favor compound movements, exercises that work multiple muscles at once. Modified squats, wall push-ups, seated rows, resistance bands. These all simulate real-life strength from getting out of a chair to lifting groceries. They avoid isolating movements like bicep curls or leg extensions in favor of function. But here's the most overlooked element. The way down is just as important as the way up. Focusing on the eccentric phase, the part where you slowly lower the weight, has been shown to stimulate more muscle fibers in seniors without straining the joints. For example, when doing a squat or push-up, lowering yourself slowly activates more fibers and tells your body, hey, I still need these muscles. This technique is gentle but incredibly powerful. In a groundbreaking 12-week study from the University of Alabama seniors, over 70 who began progressive resistance training gained 3.3 pounds of new muscle, 35% more strength, better blood sugar control, improved cognitive function, and stronger bones, all with just 2 30-minute sessions per week. Now ask yourself, what if you could reclaim even a fraction of that strength? What would that mean for your balance, your confidence, your independence? So many seniors avoid resistance training because they think it's dangerous. But the real danger is not doing it at all. Because when you stop challenging your muscles, they stop showing up for you. Start small. Use your body weight. Resistance bands, light weights. Then grow. Gently, steadily, safely. And if possible, find a trainer who understands aging bodies and can help you tailor the program to your joints, your needs, your goals. Just 2 sessions a week could be the difference between decline and strength for decades to come. Coming up next, we'll explore habit number 2, how your brain and nervous system play a crucial, often forgotten role in muscle preservation. We often think of muscle as just flesh and strength, but there's a silent conductor behind every movement. Your nervous system, more specifically, the neuromuscular junction, the connection between your brain and your muscles. Picture it like a power outlet. No matter how strong the appliance is, if the plug is damaged, the machine won't work. After age 60, these connections begin to weaken dramatically. And when they do, your brain starts to lose contact with your muscles, even if the muscles are still there. This means that even if you're eating well and exercising, your body might not be receiving the full signal to build or maintain strength. But here's the good news. These connections aren't lost forever. They can be preserved and even rebuilt. So how do the strongest seniors do it? First, they engage in coordination-based activities, movements that challenge both mind and body. Think Tai Chi, dancing, tennis, ping pong. These aren't just fun pastimes. They force your brain to communicate with muscles in complex ways, improving balance timing and reaction speed. A 2020 study found that older adults who performed these types of movements twice a week had 31% better neuromuscular preservation than those who simply walked or lifted weights. It's not just about building muscle, it's about keeping the connection alive. Second, some compounds have been shown to nourish and protect these brain-muscle links. Alpha-lipoic acid, acetyl L-carnitine, benfotiamine, a B1 vitamin, huperzine A from Chinese club moss. These support mitochondrial health and neurotransmitter function, especially acetylcholine, the signal that tells your muscles to move. Third, superagers practice vagus nerve activation, which stimulates the nervous system and improves muscle response. One simple method: box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold again for 4 seconds. Do this for 3-5 minutes a day, and you're already rewiring your nervous system. But perhaps the most fascinating discovery comes from cognitive training. A study from Columbia University showed that seniors who regularly did challenging mental tasks like puzzles, memory games, or learning new skills retained muscle function far better. Why? Because muscles and brain share neural circuits. Training one helps the other. It's all connected. So, if you want to keep your muscles strong, don't just lift weights. Also, learn a new dance. Try a memory game. Play ping pong. Breathe with intention. Nourish your nerves. Your muscles may begin in the body, but their spark comes from the brain. In the next part, we'll explore habit number 3, the hidden nutrients most seniors are missing, and why even a perfect diet may still leave your muscles starving. We've talked about training the muscles. We've talked about reconnecting the brain. But there's a third element, often invisible, yet absolutely critical. Micronutrients. You can lift weights. You can eat protein. But if your body lacks the essential vitamins and minerals to convert fuel into strength, you're building on a hollow foundation. Let's start with the most overlooked mineral of all, magnesium. Sometimes called the forgotten electrolyte, magnesium is required for over 300 muscle-related processes in the body. And yet, more than 70% of older adults are deficient. Without enough magnesium, your muscles cramp more easily, recover more slowly, and fail to respond to exercise efficiently. A 2021 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors with adequate magnesium levels had 30% stronger grip strength and performed significantly better in mobility tests. Where do superagers get their magnesium? Dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, avocados, and often supplements, especially magnesium glycinate or threonate, which are highly bioavailable and gentle on digestion. But magnesium isn't working alone. Enter creatine, a compound famous in the fitness world, but too often ignored by seniors. Contrary to myth, creatine isn't just for bodybuilders. It's a naturally occurring substance in your muscles, essential for energy production and hydration inside cells. A study from McMaster University found that 3 to 5 grams of creatine daily improved not only muscle strength, but also cognitive function in older adults, especially when combined with resistance training. Next up, vitamin B12, specifically in its active form, methylcobalamin. B12 is vital for nerve health, energy metabolism, and muscle coordination. But here's the catch. As we age, stomach acid decreases, meaning we absorb less B12 from food. And if you take medications like metformin or proton pump inhibitors, your levels could be even lower. Superagers typically supplement with methylated B12 rather than the cheaper synthetic form called cyanocobalamin. It absorbs better, works faster, and supports both brain and muscle systems. Finally, we come to trace minerals, small in quantity, massive in impact. Zinc, selenium, and chromium don't just help immunity. They support insulin sensitivity, cell repair, and the delivery of nutrients into muscle cells. In a 5-year study from Tufts University, seniors with optimal levels of these trace minerals maintained 22% more muscle mass compared to those with deficiencies, despite eating the same amount of food. Now, here's something the strongest seniors do. that most others don't. They test, not guess. Instead of relying on generic multivitamins, they work with their doctor to measure their levels and supplement only what's missing. This personalized approach saves money, avoids overload, and ensures every nutrient is working in harmony. Because remember, it's not just about how much protein you eat. It's about whether your body has the tools to use it. In the next part, we'll reveal habit number 4, how inflammation, often silent and unnoticed, may be sabotaging your muscle health every day without you even realizing it. There's a fire that burns inside the body. You won't see it. You might not feel it. But it's there, smoldering quietly, breaking down what you've spent a lifetime building. It's called inflammaging, a low-grade chronic inflammation that sneaks into the body with age. And it's one of the biggest reasons seniors lose muscle, even when they eat well and stay active. How? Inflammation interferes with the body's ability to build new muscle tissue, repair damaged fibers, and respond to protein or exercise. At Tufts University, researchers discovered something shocking. Seniors with high inflammation lost 3 times more muscle mass than those with low inflammation, regardless of exercise or diet. Let that sink in. You could be doing everything right, but if inflammation is high, your body is fighting against you. So how do superagers stay strong? They don't just build muscle, they manage inflammation daily. Step 1. Deep, consistent sleep. A single night of poor sleep can raise inflammatory markers by over 40%. Superagers create a sleep sanctuary. Same bedtime each night, no screens, 1 hour before bed, a completely dark, cool room, and magnesium or tart cherry juice to support melatonin. Step 2. Heal the gut. Your gut controls 70% of your immune system, and with age, gut bacteria become imbalanced, leading to systemic inflammation. What do superagers do? They eat 30+ different plants per week for fiber diversity. Fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi for probiotics, and prebiotic fibers from garlic, onions, and bananas. This rebalances gut. Flora calms inflammation and improves nutrient absorption. Step 3. Move wisely. Yes, movement matters, but intensity matters more. Excessive intense exercise in seniors can actually spike inflammation, not reduce it. Superagers follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of their movement is moderate walking, swimming, yoga. 20% is intense short bursts of resistance or interval training 1-2 times per week. They let their body recover. Step 4. Anti-inflammatory nutrition. Here are the staples superagers consume regularly. Omega-3. Fatty acids 2 to 3 grams daily from fish oil or wild salmon. Turmeric, curcumin, natural anti-inflammatory compound. Polyphenol-rich foods. Berries, green tea, extra virgin olive oil. A 12-week study from the University of California showed that these habits alone lowered inflammation by 29% in older adults. And one final tool, a simple blood test, HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It tells you your inflammation levels. Most seniors fall between 3.0 to 6.0 mgs L. Superagers below 1.0 because they've turned down the fire, and in doing so, they've given their muscles the chance to grow, recover, and stay strong. One of the most overlooked yet powerful factors in reversing age-related muscle loss isn't just what you eat, it's when and how you eat your protein. Everyone knows protein is important for muscles. But here's the twist. It's not just how much you eat, it's when. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein. Scientists call this anabolic resistance, a gradual decline in the ability to synthesize muscle from food. So, even if you're eating enough protein, your body may not be using it properly. And here's where most seniors go wrong. They consume the majority of their protein in just one meal, usually dinner. But your muscles don't work on a once-a-day schedule. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found something remarkable. When older adults spread their protein evenly across 3 meals, their muscle protein synthesis increased by 25% compared to those who consumed the same amount mostly at dinner. Why? Because there's a 4-hour window after every meal when your muscles are primed to build if they receive enough protein. Superagers take advantage of this. They aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they don't just rely on meat. Their go-to sources include eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whey protein smoothies, lentils beans, tofu, tempeh, chicken fish, or lean red meat in moderation. Here's a simple example. Typical senior breakfast: toast and coffee. 5G protein, barely enough for survival. Superager breakfast: scrambled eggs plus Greek yogurt plus berries. 30G in protein, enough to signal muscle repair and growth. This one adjustment, shifting protein to the start of the day, can completely change how your muscles respond. A 12-week study from the University of Texas showed that seniors who evenly distributed their protein gained 1.2 pounds of muscle without changing exercise or total calories, and felt more energized and balanced. Let that sink in. No gym, no pills, just the right fuel at the right time. So the next time you sit down for breakfast, remember, you're not just eating to stop hunger. You're feeding your independence. Because when you feed your muscles consistently, they remember how to stay strong. Surprisingly, some of the world's strongest seniors have discovered a counterintuitive truth. By exposing their bodies to certain types of stress, they've triggered powerful responses that help them grow younger, not older. It might sound strange at first, but some of the strongest, sharpest, most independent seniors alive today have one surprising thing in common. They invite stress into their lives. Not the kind that keeps you up at night or makes your blood pressure rise. No, this is different. This is hormetic stress, a gentle, calculated challenge that tells the body, wake up, adapt, grow. It's a whisper to your cells, not a scream. And science is listening. At the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, researchers discovered something remarkable. When older adults are exposed to brief natural stressors, their bodies respond in powerful ways. Muscles grow more resilient. Mitochondria, your cell's energy engines, become stronger, and key longevity genes switch on. So what does that look like in real life? For many superagers, it begins with a simple habit: cold exposure. Just 30 to 60 seconds at the end of a warm shower. That's it. It might take your breath away the first time, but here's what happens beneath the surface. Your body activates brown fat, which keeps metabolism young. It releases adiponectin, a hormone that shields your muscles from wasting. And it boosts energy production at the cellular level. Cold wakes you up in every sense. Now, flip that. Because the opposite works too. Heat, a hot sauna, a warm bath, 4 to 7 times a week. Not to relax, but to rebuild. Inside that warmth, something extraordinary happens. Heat shock proteins begin to flow. Tiny defenders that repair damaged muscle and protect it from age-related breakdown. One long-term study in Finland found that seniors who used saunas regularly had 40% less muscle loss than those who didn't. Think about that. 4 simple visits a week, a 40% difference. Another gentle stressor time, or rather, the absence of food for a little while. It's called time-restricted eating, and it's not a diet. It's just giving your body space between meals to reset. Superagers often eat all their meals within an 8 to 10 hour window. They don't starve. They don't skip meals. They simply give their body a chance to clear out old cells and create new ones. The result: better muscle quality, sharper energy, and stronger mitochondrial activity in as little as 12 weeks. And then there's one more practice, perhaps the most underestimated of them all. It's called overcoming isometrics. Here's what it looks like. You push against a wall, pull a towel from both ends, or hold a position with tension for just 5 to 10 seconds at full effort. You don't move much, but inside your muscles are roaring. They're being reminded, I'm still here. I still matter. Even once or twice a week, these short bursts of tension tell the body, don't shrink. Stay strong. The secret behind all these techniques, they're short, intentional, and always followed by rest, because hormetic stress is like seasoning. Too little, and things are bland. Too much, and they burn. But just enough. It transforms everything. Most people avoid discomfort. Superagers, they strategically embrace it, and in return, their bodies give them strength, balance, and vitality long after others have begun to fade. In the next and final part of our journey, we'll reveal the missing link. One single vitamin 1 that more than 80% of older adults are lacking. And yet, it may be the key to building muscle, avoiding falls, and protecting your independence. There's one more piece to this puzzle. One final habit that separates the fragile from the fierce. And chances are, it's missing from your life right now. More than 80% of older adults are deficient in it. Yet this single nutrient may be the reason you struggle with muscle strength, balance, and energy. It's not calcium. It's not protein. It's vitamin D. We often think of it as the bone vitamin, but researchers at Harvard and the Journal of Internal Medicine say otherwise. Vitamin D is also the muscle vitamin. Here's why. Every muscle cell in your body has vitamin D receptors, tiny switches that, when activated, trigger muscle growth, repair, and stability. Without enough vitamin D, those switches stay off. Muscle shrinks. Reaction time slows. Coordination falters. And when coordination falters, falls happen. One study found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% more muscle strength, sharper balance and posture, and significantly lower risk of falls. Now, here's the hard part. As we age, our ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight drops by more than 50%. Even 15 minutes of sun a day might not be enough anymore. And the standard recommendation of 600 IU per day, it's wildly inadequate for most aging bodies. So what do superagers do? First, they check their levels, specifically their 25-OHD blood test. Most older adults are hovering around 15 to 20 nang MOI. Superagers aim for above 40 namo-MOA level, associated with stronger muscles and better balance. To get there, most require 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day, either through supplementation or vitamin D-rich foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy. But there's one more thing. Vitamin D needs a partner. Without vitamin K2, all that calcium and D3 might end up in your arteries instead of your bones. Superagers include fermented foods like natto sauerkraut and some cheeses or take a D3 or K2 combo to ensure calcium goes where it belongs. It's a simple fix, but it makes all the difference. Because strength isn't just about pushing weights. It's about staying upright, walking without fear, living without limits. And sometimes the key is in the smallest molecule. So now we've come full circle. 7 habits. 7 powerful choices. None of them require perfection. Only attention. Only intention. And a willingness to believe that strength is still possible no matter what decade you're in. You don't have to climb mountains, but maybe you'd like to climb stairs without holding the rail, or stand up from your chair without pain, or carry your own groceries with confidence. It starts with a choice, one small change, then another, because your story isn't finished. Your body isn't done speaking. It's waiting for your signal. And if you felt that quiet question inside you lately, that whisper of, could I be strong again? Then here's your answer. Yes, you can. Subscribe to Senior Fit, where growing older doesn't mean slowing down. It means moving forward, stronger, smarter, and still full of life. Thank you for being here. Now tell us in the comments, which of these habits surprised you most, and which one will you start today?